And you're welcome. We have a very modest guest with us here today, Iyiola Damilola. She's the creative director at Tommy Phil Cakes and also confectionery. She joins us to talk about, her foray into the world of confectioneries as an entrepreneur. You are welcome, Iyiola.
Thank you.
Did I get that
Good
right?
morning.
Iyiola.
Iyiola, yes.
Iyiola. What does that mean? I'm just curious. Iyiola means...
I don't know.
It's a good way to start. You're welcome.
Thank you.
What do I call a person who's into confectionery? Do I still call you a baker or what now? Am I correct?
Yeah.
You are
Call
a
me
baker.
a baker, yeah.
Baker.
Because what we do mostly is bake.
And you bake for parties, you bake for weddings, you
Yeah,
bake
we
for...
do outdoor like your wedding cakes. We do small chops, dessert like cake parfait, fruit parfait,
Nice.
stuff like that.
Wow, you must have a sweet
Edibles.
tooth. Edibles, yeah. Did you have to like confectionaries to go into that business, or was it just something you had to do because you wanted to make money? I'm looking for
No.
passion versus...
If you're going into it because of the money part, you fail.
There's no money. Ha, Yola, what's
There is
going
no
on?
money. No, I'm not saying there's no money. There is,
Okay.
but money should not be what
drives you?
motivates you to do so. That's to be your passion.
Okay.
So because most times you break down.
Aw.
You don't have passion for what you're doing. Sometimes you go for... I've gone to... I think I've attended a party and I didn't meet up.
Okay.
I was supposed to serve cake parfait. I didn't meet up. And the guy just came and was like, I'll go call my mom for you.
Aw.
And I was like...
And it broke you down, didn't it? So along with actually being a caterer, there's also the passion that goes with it, and also that human side is what I'm noticing. But first off, let's talk about how long you've been doing this. You've been doing this for about 5 years, you say.
Yes.
We touched on the money bit. I want to know, if I was to go into this kind of business, what should I put forward and what should I expect? When should I expect to break even as my sole business, as my sole source of income? I want to get a clear picture because there's so many people, especially this time that we're in, who want to do alternative businesses that will eventually become their main business. And if confectionery is it, I want to know what I'm in for. So what would I be looking forward to if I was to choose this as my alternative business with the aim of making it my sole business?
Okay, first you need to train. You need to train. You need to get well trained.
Well trained.
At least to be
This
sure
will take
of
how long?
what you're serving out.
This will take how long, this training?
Depends on
How
what
quick
and
I am?
what you're going into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I started with cakes.
Strictly
So
cakes.
the training was just a month.
Oh,
Yes,
oh.
yes.
So if you're out there, if you want to start with cakes, it could just take as little as a month then.
Yes.
That's very interesting. I thought it was going to take like 6 months or maybe even a year.
Yeah, when you start taking extra classes.
Okay, okay,
So we have beginners class. That's what I took.
okay.
1
And then
month.
you practiced and
Yeah,
perfected
that
the
will
skill.
help you a lot. Practice.
All right, grand. So 1 month of training, perhaps for beginners class, and then I can go into business. But it's not easy getting customers. How did you manage starting your business out with, your customers? How did you meet them? Where did you meet them?
Okay, when I started training. During my training, once you're taught on, okay, a particular cake like vanilla cake, you have to practice. So after the practice, I give it out. So their feedback is what is going to give me the vibe. Like, okay, I think I'm getting there, and all that.
And then you also judge the value of what the cake might be, and that's how you perhaps put a price on it.
Yeah.
But the people you're selling to, how do you make that network of people that you're selling to? Who do you sell to, for instance, for starters, actually? Who are your customers? Is it schools?
I started with family.
Family.
Yes.
That's what I'm asking now.
Yes, family, and most times, what I did, my mom, she's a Christian. So at church, anytime they want to, they do this harvest, they call it juvenile harvest. So I'll go in to their committees and tell them, okay, are you doing snacks? They say, okay, yeah, we are doing okay. I'll do my charges free. Just supply me what I will use
to make. Okay.
So from there, people started knowing me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good way. And then from there, you can sell to these people when the
Yes.
time comes.
Yes.
That's interesting. But I'm going to need equipment. You have your own
Sure.
equipment. If I'm going to invest in this business, apart from the ingredients that I'm going to need to make these confectionaries, what would it cost me to set up in terms of the equipment I'm going to need? Or maybe even the people I might have to employ. Do you have people you've employed to help you, or are you just strictly a one-man business?
When I started 1 month. But now I have a mini bakery.
Okay, with people whom you've employed.
I have like 2 workers.
Fantastic.
A baker and a sales rep.
Good. So how much would it cost me to set up with my equipment, my utensils, and all of that?
Okay, with our economy now.
Yeah, so the economy now is very different from 5 years. I know, thank you for reminding me. But
When I started then,
yeah. With the economy now, how much would it cost a person to set up?
preferably you can say 300, small scale, when I started.
Okay. When you started, and how long did it take you to make up, to break even with that 300?
I didn't start with 300.
You started with
I'm
much
just
more.
saying now.
Now, okay,
Small
fine.
scale.
Okay,
When I started with 70,000 naira.
good. And
I
how much
was
did
able
it?
to get my small oven
Okay.
and some baking equipment.
Uh,
When I started, I had no mixer. I was using my hand.
yeah, you have to go through that school. Yes, it's okay.
So while selling and all that, I started doing thrift.
Okay.
So at the end of the month, what I collect, I got
Put it
my
into
mixer. I was getting things.
So how long did it take you to finally set up and make back your 70,000 and the money that you borrowed from Thrift? How
I
much?
didn't borrow.
How much? How long rather did it take you to get back that capital that you put into the business?
A year.
A year.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason
Just
why
a
I'm
year.
asking these very specific questions is because the segment here, what we do is actually make people know that you have an advantage when you find us here on this segment, because you can learn from people's
Yes.
pathways, especially like for businesses that are easily attainable, easy to start.
Yes.
And that's what we're encouraging people to do. So if you're out there and the economy is doing you like this, like it's doing all of it, I don't mind even starting a business on the side that has to do with confectionaries, and I'm taking that sample from off of you. So I hope you don't mind that we're ripping you of this knowledge, because it's very essential for everyone who's watching right now. There are lots of housewives out there who want to start businesses, and your kind of business are the ones that we're proffering for them.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to that housewife who's watching you right now and seeing that you've been in the business for 5 years? What advice would you give them, and how, let's say, from start to finish, what would you ask them to do? Now, we've started with training, we've gotten our equipment, now the marketing of it and the business relationship. How do you relate with customers to make sure that they come back to
Yeah.
you? What do you do?
Firstly, as an housewife, I started like that.
Aha, we have the right candidate here.
Also, I do. Because after Hendy, I settled down. So after I had my first son, I wasn't feeling it, because I was running now Open University.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling fulfilled, but I still want to be around my.
So to that housewife like you,
Yes.
what would you tell them? One sentence, how would you ask them? What would you tell them to do?
Just have a passion.
Just have a passion,
Yes.
And they'll-
And be dedicated.
be dedicated.
I really need to do this, and I have to.
Fantastic. Iyiola, you are a beacon for all other housewives out there. And we love the fact that you're here on the show today. We thank you very much for coming so that everybody can take sample from your endeavors.
Thank you.
We're glad. And please, I heard you brought a gift in for us. It's a cake, yes?
Yes.
I would like to tell Mary and Titi that the cake is mine, because she's my guest. But in any case, we're going to have that cake in the kitchen so that we can show everybody what you brought for
No
us.
problem.
Thank you very much, Iyiola.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate it. Do stay. And of course, do stay, because we have the finale and reveal for what it is that we've been cooking since morning, since 7 a.m. here on Wake Up Nigeria. Coming up next, we'll be back.